Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Morgan James book launch. My name is Jim Howard. I'm the publisher for Morgan James Publishing, and I am really excited today because we've got two co-authors of an amazing book with us. We've got Tracy Gharbo and Linda Palmer, and they're the co-authors of Reshuffled, Real Stories of Hope and Resilience from Foster Care. Tracy and Linda, thank you guys for taking the time to talk with us today.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I am excited because this is such an amazing book full of just amazing inspirational stories of real life happening. And I just think that, from the first time we had conversations, I was excited about this book. And now that it's available and people can get their hands on it, I'm even more excited to see the kind of impact it can have. So, I guess my first question for you guys is, what compelled you to write this book? I mean, what was it that inspired you?
Tracy and I are both CASAs, and if you know what that is, that means we are court-appointed special advocates for children whose families are in the court system due to abuse or neglect. So we are their voice in the courtroom. So we've seen a lot of children who have childhoods that you don't want to replicate. One night we went to hear a speaker. He's a child advocate and an attorney. He's also a former foster child. He spoke passionately about being a foster child. And then he talked about what had inspired him as a child. And one of those things was a book. So as we're going out to the parking lot, we were thinking, gosh, wish we had a book to give all our children. And we said, well, we need to write a book. And so instead of having just one person with an inspirational story, we've collected quite a few. And that was really how it was born, just walking through a parking lot and having a need.
Isn't it amazing where inspiration can come in and what can spawn that thought? And some people just let that go by as a fleeting moment and don't take action on it. But you guys did. And you saw the need and were compelled to do something and take action. And the book is a direct result of that. So that is so incredible.
We really wanted something to be able to put in their hands, as opposed, there are a lot of great stories online, but being able to give them a book that they can read at with whatever time they have, we felt like would be very helpful.
That's outstanding. And you say, that you wanted to put the books into their hands, but who could benefit from reading this book?
Well, I think first we should probably mention the structure of the book. It's laid out in 23 individual chapters that are easy to read. We don't focus on all the horrible things in the childhood, although it's touched upon. But what we really want each story to be able to convey to a foster youth is that there is hope, that there are things that you can do to have a positive outcome on your life. And
I think we really wanted to make sure that not only foster children could benefit from the book, but so could the non-foster community. They could read this story and understand better what it's like to be a child with a less than perfect childhood. It can also help children, the professional community, because they too would like things to give to their children who need something to help them along.
Right. Yeah. Social workers or other guardian ad litems, teachers, mentors. But beyond that, we've discovered that there are numerous people who want to read this book. When we talk about it with friends or family, or people hear about it through my husband, who is a good advocate for us, people are astounded and think, wow, those are amazing stories. I really want to read that. I want to be inspired by these people. So I think the book, not only is it mainly targeted for the children who are currently going through foster care, to give them kind of blueprints for how to become successful participants in our society, but I think it can inspire children in high school now who aren't in foster care, and adults who maybe aren't going out and chasing that career dream of theirs because maybe they're afraid to. Maybe we can inspire a whole lot of people to chase their dreams and to do better in helping society in general. That's my goal.
Yeah, no, I, I think that's brilliant because the thing is that we all need inspiration from time to time, and the stories in your book specifically are so show the power of overcoming and the power that we have when we just believe in ourselves enough to take those steps, regardless of what our background was or past looked like or what other people had said or any stigma that may be pressed upon us. We can move forward and do incredible things. And I think that this book, you guys touched on it, but can help you, for everyone watching today. This book really can inspire you, whether you have been in foster care, if you know people in foster care currently. Maybe it's even people who have never thought about being a foster parent or a foster worker, but now seeing what can happen when you pour into young people that just need that support. This could be such a touching and moving book for anyone who picks it up. I think you guys did absolutely phenomenal with the collection of stories and the people and the collaborators that you have been able to pull together. So, tell me about some of the collaborators, some of the stories there, and how did you find them and get hooked up with some of these people?
Well, we went about it differently, the two of us. I did all mine by word of mouth. I was kind of the person at the party before COVID saying, "Hey, do you know anybody?" And so mine was all word of mouth, which ended up being a little bit easier, I think, because it's hard to say no to somebody face to face. But um, Tracy did a lot of cold calling, which is a lot harder.
I did. I'm a glutton for punishment. I found people on Facebook. I would see a news story and I would try and email that person, or I would call the Casey Foundation and try and hound their employees to send me people. So I got a lot of no's, but I guess I have a thick skin, so I'm still here.
For example, one of the ways that we found one of our very first contributors was a young man who is in college here where we live in Williamsburg, Virginia. And so he goes to the College of William and Mary. He was on the football team, and I knew that he had been in foster care. And I don't remember how I knew that, but I literally tracked him down by calling his coach's wife and said, "Hey, can you get this kid to call me?" And he did. Nothing like having your coach tell you, "Call this woman." But he did, and he came over. He's one of the first people I met. He told us just the most amazing story. His family was broken up when he was 7 or 8. Foster care came, no, social services came and took all the children to different homes. He and his older brother batted around between quite a few homes for several years. His father, who'd been in prison, was able to eventually reclaim the children, but suffice to say, his entire childhood was less than good.
Mm.
And then the good part of the story is in what he wants kids to know who are going through foster care now. First thing he talks about is don't do drugs. No matter how hard your life gets, don't do it. It's not worth it. Look at my family. We fell apart because of drugs. And he said there are 9 of us. Not one of us has ever touched a drug. If that isn't a great advertisement, I don't know what is. But he also talked about looking for good in people and about how every home might look perfect, but everybody's got their problems. He's for being such a young man, he definitely has his head on his shoulders. And the story ends, he graduates from college with a degree in economics, a job waiting for him, and he's been voted the most inspirational player on the football team. This is just a normal kid who took hard circumstances and really made the best of it.
Yeah. I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about our muse, our inspiration for this book. Linda mentioned him briefly in the beginning, but Jelani Freeman was the young man who spoke to us at the College of William and Mary, and he had a nice presentation that he gave us. He talked about traveling from foster home to foster home with all of his items in a trash bag, never feeling part of a family until he met his mentor. And that mentor stayed with him through college, through Howard Law School. And to this day, he still relies on her advice and looks to her as a family member. they're amazing stories. And, you know, Jelani spoke at I think at the 2016 National Democratic Convention. I mean, this kid had a hard life, and he had a mentor that was able to show him and help him realize his full potential. So I think that's an amazing story as well.
Every story is so different than the one before it.
Mhm.
We didn't set out to reach the gamut of people. We didn't try to get, you know, old, young, you know, every race, every religion. We didn't try, but somehow or other, that's what we found. Everyone has such a different story. One thing I wanted to throw in is why we named it Reshuffled.
Mm.
I mean, and it came from a quote that was given to us by one of our collaborators. I have to read it. It says, "I didn't grow up having role models. I grew up having people I didn't want to be like and seeing situations I'd never want to be in. Not all of us are dealt the right cards, but that does not mean you can't reshuffle the deck for a better outcome."
Wow.
And once we heard that, we knew what our goal was to give kids a new deck to look forward to.
I love that.
There's so many, like she said, Linda said, there are so many different stories in here. But one thing that we have learned is that a lot of people are more resilient than they think they are. With just a little helping hand,
Yeah.
or a little bit of belief in themselves and from others, they can do amazing things.
Yeah. And you know, your book, every story in there has this element of it's never really about how we start. It's always about how we finish. And every person in your book, every story starts out in a way that would be real easy to say, we can't make it from here. But fortunately, where we need to go doesn't matter where we are. It matters what we do and who we surround ourselves with and the things that we believe and what we allow ourselves to overcome. And your book, with that diverse group of people and the things that they've been able to accomplish with their lives, is just amazing. And it shows all of us that there's no reason that anything should hold us back, because we should be able to persevere, push through, and grow in every circumstance. And you guys did such a wonderful job sharing stories that prove that. So I am so appreciative of your book and what you guys did, and what you're continuing to do in young people's lives. I just think that is something that can't be replaced. And it's something that we all should strive to be a part of. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. We were amazed too. We truly were. We were amazed at how amazing just ordinary people were.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if people are watching this today, and they want to find out more about what you guys are doing, what's the best way for them to contact you or get in touch with you?
I would encourage everybody, even if you don't want to contact us, go to reshuffled.org. You can learn about some of our collaborators. You can learn about us, which is interesting. And you can also learn about Colonial CASA and CASA in general. And I think anybody who wants to give back to their community should really learn about CASA and the Guardian Ad Litem program. And you can learn more information there. If you want to contact us or share a story with us, please go to reshuffle.org and do so. Our social media sites are all listed there, and there's a contact form where you can reach out to us.
Beautiful. Well, Linda, Tracy, thank you guys for taking the time to talk with us today. Just talking and hearing about the book is inspiring. And I know when people get their hands on their copy and they start reading it, they'll be moved. This book is very powerful. So thank you guys for taking the time to talk with us today. And more importantly, for writing such an incredible book and sharing it to show the stories that you're sharing.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching. I really hope that each and every one of you will get a copy. The book is going to be available everywhere books are sold. In fact, you can get a copy right now. Reshuffled, Real Stories of Hope and Resilience from Foster Care. And, connect with Tracy and Linda. Go check the website out and get involved. And I think that that's the biggest thing. If you read this book and it moves you to be involved in someone else's life, you will make a difference for that person and change that person's life. No questions asked. So guys, thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And we hope to see you on our next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.